Atlanta Braves versus the New York Mets. Tonight's game is brought to you by Miller Lite. For great taste, there is only one light. By Ford and your local Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Wendy's. Come celebrate the crispy chicken nuggets at Wendy's. And by United States Liberty Coins. Keep Liberty in mint condition with United States Liberty Coins.
All right, everybody. Actually, a quirky thing about this game, this particular NBC game of the week was actually a primetime deal. It was the previous game played Friday night that was broadcast. I didn't know that until I got everything set up. So this is actually the Saturday game that was played instead of the Friday night game. Kind of a little snafu on my part, but I had everything already. I've already done so much work to get this game together with all the lineups and whatnot. I really didn't want to differentiate from that, so I figured it really doesn't matter at this point. The important part is that we are playing the game. So let me get my. I'm kind of late starting because I just finished up playing recording one of the Stratomatic Demolition League games between Boston and Arizona. That will post probably during the week sometime, but I wanted to get one of those games in. I hadn't done one in a while, and of course I waited until too late in the morning to get it started, and it kind of bumped into this one. So hopefully you guys are okay with me starting a few minutes late. Hopefully it's not too terrible. Let's see. We've got 5 folks in here. RJL, thank you for... Oh, I got to turn my computer off, the voice on my computer here. Let me... Boy, talk about a snafu there. Turn that computer off. I don't want to hear any backlash on there. Thank you, RJL, for stopping by and joining me early on. Same with Brian B. and Kenyon Gray. I'm glad to have all of you guys there. This is Rick Mailer against Rick Aguilera, a couple of Ricks. The actual game, like I said, was on Friday night. It was David Palmer against Sid Fernandez. But when I was doing this, I saw that on YouTube, I saw this game was on NBC, and just my first thought was, oh, it's the Saturday game of the week. And unbeknownst to me, I should have paid attention that it was actually a Friday night game. But we move on from that and get ready for some Payoff Pitch. That's the game that's in the rotation is Payoff Pitch. Next game after this is the last game before the All-Star break. So the All-Star break, there will be an All-Star game that I will play on Inside Pitch. The 1986 All-Star game from the Astrodome, Dwight Gooden against Roger Clemens. Lots of Mets and some Red Sox will probably be on both teams, but that will be done. I'm assuming I will do that as a recording. I don't think I want to do that live. I'm not sure. It'll be a midweek thing, and so I'm not sure what my setup will be at that point. Hello, Brad. How are you doing? I do have the dice ready to go. Best Met colors I could find, blue and white, and then the black and the white for the Payoff Pitch D10s. You notice I do not have any fast action cards out here because I prefer to use the charts. I do have the new charts that came with the game a while back, the new things that were just done. So I do prefer those. So that's what I will be using. And I do think Inside Pitch works best for the All-Star game because you got all those nice colorful cards and it kind of gives you the flavor of being an All-Star game. Again, a little bit later start than usual than what I wanted, but we're here. I guess that's saying something. Rick Aguilera, and the 86 season on Payoff Pitch, I happen to buy PDF, so that's why these are the PDF versions, not the real nice, handy-dandy, tidy ones that you buy printed. And I noticed on the website that for a while, the printed sets from Payoff Pitch were not being available. I noticed they have now come back online as available. And for those of you that don't care about the left-right splits, they are having a sale on just about every season card for standard, not the splits, but the standard sets that don't have the splits. You can usually get those $5 to $6 off almost every season, I think it is, when I went on the website and looked at it. The ones with the splits aren't on sale, but the ones that are the standard ones with no splits are on sale. RJL, I'm going to depend on you to tell me, do I need to It looks like it might be a little blurry, so let me see if I can do something about that. Maybe I can put my hand here and kind of help the focus. I don't know. Let's see. That might have made it worse. That's one of these things here about doing live, is you never know how things are going to work out. I may just have to live with this. I looked into getting a webcam. Some of them are actually not that expensive. I may look into doing something like that. I think I'm just going to have to live with that. So hopefully the cards are pretty easy to see. It might be, like I said, a tint on the blurry side. I'm trying to do what I can to make it where it's not blurry. I think every time I do something with that, it's just not working the way I want it to work, is it? So I don't know if moving it down or up will help. I think I'm just going to have to live with this. We're just going to have to live with it, I guess. That's why I like the recordings better than the live, because I can get nice 1080p on those. And I don't have to worry about things such as this for whatever reason on my live stream. And I'm right here next to the Wi-Fi, so it's not like I don't have a signal or I have a weak signal. I mean, it's coming through pretty good. I don't know if bringing a card up here will help it get focused or not. We'll see. Like I said, it might just make it worse. I guess we're just going to go with it. There's not much else I can do with it. I got to work with what I have. All right, so there you see the lineups for both teams. For the Braves, their lineup here. For the Mets, their lineup here. The benches, players that are available, as well as the bullpen guys that are available. The Mets are carrying one extra. Actually, the Mets are carrying one fewer pitchers. They've got one less person on the roster for whatever reason. The Braves have 6 pitchers available, whereas the Mets only have 5, and they both have 6 on the bench. So however that worked out, I'm not sure, but that's what we got. All right, so we're ready to go. Andres Thomas will lead things off for the Braves against Rick Aguilera. Aguilera was 10-7 with a 3.88 ERA on the 86 season. So we'll see what Thomas can do. Like I said, I apologize for the blurriness. Or maybe it's just on my screen. Let me see if I can update my screen. Maybe my computer screen is... Maybe that's the problem. Yeah, I was only doing 360 on my computer screen. That's why it was looking so blurry. Now it looks better when I put the 720 on. Now I can see what you guys are seeing. And my eyes aren't that bad. So hopefully it looks pretty good. It's the best I'm going to get. But when I was looking on my computer, for some reason, the computer screen had defaulted to a 360p, and I was wondering why I was looking so blurry. Now I feel a whole lot better about that. It's not great, but it's passable, I think. All right, so Andres Thomas, your batter, not exactly the typical prototypical leadoff hitter. He hit .239 against the right-handers in 184 at-bats. And we're underway. It's a 7. That's tough. 66 against a right-hander. He goes to 57 for a hit, but 66 is going to be a fly to right. And there's one away, and we are underway here from Shea Stadium. That'll bring up third baseman Ken Oberkfell. We get an 8, which is tough again, 52. Tough 52. That's going to be a ground ball to third, and Ray Knight will flip over to Hernandez. Quickly 2 up and 2 down. Here in the top of the first for the Murph, Dale Murphy, borderline Hall of Famer. He's right up there, I think, in the same mix with Mattingly, where people think maybe he didn't have enough numbers to get in there, although Murphy, I think, played a little bit longer than Mattingly did. I got to tell you, to me, when I was watching him play, Murphy's a Hall of Famer. I was thinking of him, he's a Hall of... If Harold Baines is a Hall of Famer, then gosh darn it, Dale Murphy is a Hall of Famer. Because to me, Dale Murphy... Harold Baines can't carry Dale Murphy's jock, in my opinion. So Dale Murphy should be in the Hall of Fame, as should Don Mattingly. They're letting everybody in. It's a Hall of Very Good, so you got to let these very good players in there, in my opinion. I think Murphy might get in eventually with the Veterans Committee, but we'll see. That's my little rant. It's not an RJL rant, but it's a rant of some sort. All right, Aguilera, 8 is tough. 09 struck him out. Boy, Aguilera found tough results on all 3 batters, and the Braves really had no chance. They go down 1-2-3 here in the top of the first. We go to the bottom of the first. It's Atlanta nothing. And the Mets coming to bat. And they'll be facing Rick Junk Mailer. 14-18 with a 4.88 ERA on the 86 season. And Nails, Lenny Dykstra will lead it off for the Mets. He hit .314 against the righties, but only .233 against the lefties. But he's facing a righty, so he should be in good shape. 8 is tough. We found another tough one, though. Tough and 20 is a strikeout. Boy, both pitchers finding the tough results early. And Mailer doesn't have that many tough results, just in 7 and 8, and that's it. Here's Wally Backman. He's in there because the right-hander's on the mound. Backman hit .340 against righties, only a .192 against lefties. So he's definitely hindered when they have a lefty, and that's why they have Tim Tuffle. That's why they went out and got Tim Tuffle. 5, we're in play, 48. In play, 48 is going to be out of range barely. Goes to 44. 48 will be a ground ball to first. And that will be handled by the first baseman, Bob Horner. He will take it to the bag himself. 2 up and 2 down. And here's another guy which, with his defense and whatnot, certainly warrants at least a little bit of Hall of Fame consideration. That's Keith Hernandez. I don't know how many Gold Gloves he won, but he won a lot. Plus an co-MVP and a World Series ring. I don't think the Mets win the series without him, that's for sure. All right. Hernandez now. 4 is in play, 60. That's out of range. That will be a ground ball to third. Handled by Oberkfell, and the inning's over. So the Mets go rather quietly as well, 1-2-3. At the end of 1 inning of play, no score from Shea Stadium here in this July game, right before the All-Star break. So now Bob Horner, tough hitter when he was healthy. He is coming to the plate. He had 27 home runs in 1986. Hit .254 against the rights, .313 against the lefts. Aguilera, ironically would later become a closer for the Twins. He was part of that Frank Viola trade, I do believe. Brought Viola to the Mets. 4 is tough. He found another tough result, 21. And I tell you what, Braves can't catch a break. They've had 4 consecutive tough results off Aguilera's card. 3 out of 12, so it's 25% chance you're going to hit the tough cards or tough results on Aguilera's card. He's done it all 4 times. Of course, if anybody watched the game yesterday with the Buffalo Bees, there was 3 results of Home Run King where the only way it wasn't a home run was to roll a 1, and it happened 3 times in a row we rolled a 1. So what are the odds of that? All right, here's Ken Griffey Sr. stepping to the plate. 11, that's in play. Finally got off the tough result, but 71 is going to be way too high for that. 71 is a ground ball to short, and Santana, changing his evil ways, throws to first and retires Mr. Griffey. That brings up Terry Harper. 2 outs and the base is clear for Harper. We get a 6, which is patient. 90, though, it's out of range when it's a 90. It goes up to 83 for Harper, but 90 is way too high for that. It's another ground ball to Santana, and that's going to end the inning. So the Braves go meekly here in the second. Strikeout and 2 ground balls. We go to the bottom of the second, still no score from Shea Stadium. Hello, Clinton Parks, Mr. Rear Admiral himself. Pleasure always to have him join us. And anybody else I might have missed? Hope I didn't miss anybody. I got Kenyon, I got Brad, and I got RJL, and I got BB. Well, Brian B, rather. So I think I got everybody. Here's Jerry Carter, the kid. That's an 8 on Mailer, which is tough again, but it's a 91. That's going to be well out of range. That is a ground ball to short, and this time it is Mr. Andres Thomas that makes the play. 1 down, and that brings up the straw man, Darryl Strawberry. Without the getting into substance abuse, Strawberry may very well have found himself in the Hall of Fame. Just like Dwight Gooden, if he had laid off that stuff. 6 is Patient 31. Patient 31 is going to be a walk, and we got our first base run of the game. The straw man has drawn a base on balls as Rick Mailer pitching him a little bit too carefully, perhaps. not one to give up a long ball. So Strawberry is on first. One down. And that's going to bring up the left fielder, Mookie Wilson. And left field was kind of the weak spot, if you want to call it that, for the Mets. They used George Foster early, used Mookie Wilson a lot, Kevin Mitchell later on. The pitch to Wilson. 7 is tough, 71. Tough 71 is a ground ball to short. Double play chance. He's a 6. He's an 8. That totals a 7, so not going to be a double play. It will be a fielder's choice. So Strawberry is taken off the bases, and Mookie Wilson will reach on the fielder's choice, going 6-4. Thomas to the second baseman, Hubbard. Fielder's choice, 2 down now for Ray Knight. 1986 World Series MVP Ray Knight. And he's got a big discrepancy, 379 against lefties, only 243 against the rights. So he may be into some trouble here against the right-hander. We shall see. 8 is tough, 38. Tough 38 struck him out, and that's going to end the inning. So nothing doing for the Mets either. 2 complete here at Shea Stadium, and we've got no score. Mets and the Braves. Aguilera back out to start the third, and he'll be facing the bottom third of the order. Leading off will be Ozzie like a Virgil, the catcher. Only hit 206 against the lefties, did hit 206 against the righties, 262 against the lefties. That is a 7, which is tough. 11, that's a strikeout. So again, Aguilera finding those tough results, and he's making it tough on the Braves. I'll bring up Glenn Mother Hubbard. 6 is patient this time, but it's a 68 rather. 68 patient, which is going to be a hit by the pitch. So Glenn Hubbard takes one for the team and gets plunked by Aguilera. Hubbard will trot down to first base with that hit by pitch. And that's going to bring up Rick Mailer. He is actually using pitcher hitting card number 9. Pitcher hitting card number 9 for Rick Mailer. And we'll see if he wants to do a sacrifice bunt, or whether as a number 9 card hitter, he might be, with 1 out already, he might be better off to let him swing away. We shall see how they want to play this, if they want to do a bunt or if they want to let him swing away. His bunt rating, let's look at Rick Mailer's bunt rating. If we look at back to his pitcher card, his bunt rating, he's an A bunter. So A bunter. And so we'll roll in sacrifice bunt chart, which is right here, 2D10 roll, and we'll see what we get. Also roll 1D6 to see who fields it. We get a 20. So a 20 is going to be the good sacrifice, and the D6 is a 6, which means it's the catcher. So Gary Carter pounces out, makes the play. Hubbard does make second on the sacrifice bunt. It's going to go 2-4, as Backman was covering second for Gary Carter. So 2-4 sacrifice for out number 2. And it's going to set things up for Andres Thomas, first chance of the game for the Braves to really threaten and get on the scoreboard. That's an 11. I'm sorry, it's a 2. I was reading them as D10s. That's a 2, which is defense. So we're going to the defensive chart. Defensive chart. And we'll see what we've got. We've got an 80. So on the defensive chart, an 80 is an error check on the shortstop, Rafael Santana. Rafael Santana, his error, look at Santana. He is a 4 for his error rating. Go to Shea Stadium. Error rating of 4 is a 1 through 46 for an error. So we'll do a 1 through 46 for an error. We'll also roll the 2D6s to see what happens if there is an out. We're looking at the 2D10s. That is a 32, so that will be an error. That is a 5. So on a shortstop, on a 5, it's a one base error. So it will be an error on Santana. Hubbard will make it to third. Thomas will make first. Runners are at the corners on the E6. Santana usually reliable, but not this time. Runners on the corners with 2 down for Ken Oberkfell. And the Braves looking to break through for sure. Here's Oberkfell. Aguilera. That is a 9, which is in play, and that's a 15. In play 15, and that is a base hit for Oberkfell. The lead die is a 3, so to check base runner advancement, go to our chart again. Lead die of 3, runner on first. The lead die of 3, he gets 1 base. However, if the base running rating is of the runner is a 6 or more with 2 outs, he takes the extra base. Andres Thomas runs in an 8, so since there are 2 outs, he will automatically get third. Hubbard will score on the base hit by Ken Oberkfell, and the Braves break through 1-0 on Ken Oberkfell's clutch single. Scoring is Hubbard. And going to third is Thomas. So runners on the corners, 2 down for Dale Murphy. And Aguilera's got to get out of this. Facing the tough Dale Murphy. That's an 8, which is tough. 55 for Murphy. That's a strikeout to end the inning. But the Braves strike first with a run. And they do it with a hit by pitch, an error, and 1 hit. So Mets kind of gave it to him on that one, you would have to say. Braves didn't really earn that much. I mean, it did take the hit from Oberkfell, but it was set up by hit by pitch and an error. So we go to the bottom of the third. 1-0 Braves, and Rick Mailer now will get the advantage. And lo and behold, who's going to lead off but Rafael Santana, the man who made the error that made that run possible. So Rafael Santana leads things off. 7 is tough, 73, and that's a ground ball to second. Glenn Hubbard makes the play. And Aguilera hits off pitch rating card number 6. So we're in this right-handed column for number 6. That's an 8, so it's tough. So most likely going to be a strikeout anyway on a pitcher card, and it is. So strikeout there for Mailer. That's his 3rd strikeout through 9 batters. Not really a strikeout pitcher, but got one right there. Here's Dykstra back to the top of the order for the Mets. That's an 8, which is tough again, 60. And that's out of range. 60 will be a ground ball to third. And once again, Oberkfell makes the play, and the inning's over. So we go to the 4th. Still 1-0 favor of the Atlanta Braves. And since it's so close to the All-Star break, you know their bullpens are going to be pretty much available to go as long as they need them because they'll have plenty of time to rest. So we go to the top of the 4th. And Bob Horner will step to the plate. Horner struck out his first chance. We get a 5, which is ballpark. So we're going to the Shea Stadium for the first time. It's an 84, which means it's going to be in play. So we go to in play on Bob Horner. He needs a 25 or less to get a hit. And he gets a 21, so he gets the base hit. Bob Horner comes through with a base hit. So he didn't think he could do it, but he did it again. In fact, Aguilera's run into more trouble in the in plays than he has anywhere else, as Bob Horner gets a leadoff single to start the 4th, and that'll bring up Ken Griffey. Grounded to short his first chance. Hello, Tim. How are you doing? That is a 6, which is patient 38. Patient 38 is a base hit for Griffey. There are not 2 outs, so Horner can't take an advantage of the 6 run rating. We have to check the runner advancement. And lead die is a 2. So lead die of a 2 with a runner on first, they get 2 bases. So Horner will take third on the single from Ken Griffey. Runners are at the corners with nobody out, and Aguilera's in trouble. And the bullpen for the Mets might not be too far away from being active. Although really the bullpen's not that good for them other than McDowell and Orozco. I don't think Neiman and Bereni are that good. Sisk is maybe Robert would know more about that than I would, but they're going to play. Let's see how they want to play this. Runners are at the corners. Nobody out. They need outs. They're playing for the double play. They're figuring against Rick Miller they're going to score some runs. So they would like to turn the double play if they possibly could. That is an 8, which is tough. 29, struck him out. A huge strikeout right there. And now a double play will get them out of the inning if they can get Ozzie like a Virgil. Virgil, his first time up, was a strikeout victim. That's a 9, which is in play. 50. Out of range, 50 is a ground ball to third. Possible double play. He's a 7. That's a 6. But the total of the dice is a 9. So it's only going to be a fielder's choice. Horner will score. Griffey is out at second, but Virgil hustled down the line and kept that from being a double play. And that will give the Braves a 2-0 lead. Thought they could double up Virgil, but Virgil put the Jets on and was able to beat that throw. 2 down now. Run is in, though, to make it 2-0 Braves. And that will send us to Glenn Mother Hubbard with Virgil at first. And 2 away. That's a 3, which is in play. 41, and that's going to be an out. 41 is going to be a grounder to first. Keith Hernandez will step on the bag himself, and the inning is over. But the Braves eke out another run on a fielder's choice ground out. And at the end of 3.5, it's Atlanta 2 and the Mets nothing. But against Rick Mailer, you figure you're going to score some runs. His ERA was 4.88 after all, so got to figure the Mets are going to, maybe the second time through the order, will do some damage. Here's Wally Backman. He grounded to Horner at first his first trip. That's a 6, which is patient, 77. And that'll be a base hit for Wally Backman. Leadoff single for Wally Backman Turner overdrive. He gets the leadoff single. Try to get something started for the Mets, and that brings up Keith Hernandez. Hernandez, maybe ironically, by some people, best known for being a expectorator or a spitter on Seinfeld. 2 is defense, 26. So we go back to our defensive chart. Looking to see who we're looking at. We got a 26. 26 means we're looking at the range of the left fielder. So left fielder in this case is Ken Griffey. And if we look at Griffey, his range is a D. So 1 to 51 will be a base hit. Anything higher than that, and it will be caught. So 1 to 51, and we got a hit. We got a 95, so that will be an out. That's a 6. So the out is a fly to left. Fly to left, and it's a short fly out. So 1 away, Backman can't go anywhere, as Griffey was able to chase that down and haul it in. Here's the kid, Gary Carter. Six is patient. 96, though. 96 is a fly to left, and that's one of those things that Robert mentioned. If you get something in the 90s, it's generally going to be a fly to left or a fly to right. Not much mystery to that, whereas maybe on inside pitch, you never know what the result's going to be. Both are great games, so not trying to knock either one. They both have their definite advantages. Here's a straw man. He could tie the game with one swing of the bat. That's a 6, which is patient, but the 71 patient is a base hit for Darryl Strawberry. There are 2 outs. Backman does run at a 9, so he will definitely take third. He gets the extra base on that with 2 outs. So Strawman gets the base hit, puts runners on the corners with 2 down. And that's why they played the infield back earlier. They had confidence they would score runs, but it's up to Mookie Wilson to get it done. 2 outs and 2 on. Here's Mookie Wilson. That's a 7, which is tough. 86, and they're going to, unfortunately for the Mets, ground to second to end the inning as Hubbard will throw to Horner. And the Mets leave 2 on here in the bottom of the 4th. We go to the 5th. Still 2-0 Atlanta. Very surprising, but there are still 5 innings to go. And as RJL says, there's always a chance for ninth inning magic later on as well. So top of the fifth we go, and Rick Mailer, very good hitting pitcher, using pitcher hitting card number 9, will lead off. That is a 10, which is in play, but that's a 24. Oh, almost got it. Actually, he did get it. Look at that. Kind of unusual. The pitcher hitting card number 10 is supposed to be better. They only have a 5 to 22 for in play, but over here it's a 5 to 25. Kind of unusual, but it's a 24, so that's a base hit for Rick Mailer. Wow. Didn't see that one coming. Rick Chunk Mailer manages to coax his way for a base hit. And I thought I had a Rick Mailer thing printed out, but apparently I do not. I thought I did. I don't really think about it with the pitcher. You're thinking they're not going to get any hits. So we'll just have to use somebody else over here to mark that he's a runner. So Rick Mailer is aboard on the base hit. And that will switch to the top of the order. And Andres Thomas five, that's ballpark. 13 is in the wheelhouse. So we're in the wheelhouse for Andres Thomas. That's a 1 to 30 for a home run. It'd be a 2-run homer on a 1 to 30. That's a 71, so it won't even be a hit. It'll actually be a ground ball to second. Ground ball to second, and the original roll was a 5 because it went to the ballpark. So the original roll was a 5, which means that's a double play. It fits into 6 and the 9, so that will be a double play. Double play will go 4-6-3. 2 quick outs. The Mets needed that, especially Aguilera, to get out of some of that jam. 2 outs, bases clear now for Ken Oberkfell. He had an RBI single his first time, or second time up, not his first time up. 10 is in play. 14, another base hit for Oberkfell. So Oberkfell gets his second hit of the ball game. It comes with 2 outs and the bases clear, so Aguilera should be able to pitch around that, you would think. He's going to face Murphy, who, unfortunately for him, has struck out twice in a row, 0 for 2. Hello, Forever. How are you doing? I'm trying to keep up with the chat, but sometimes I get into the game and I get so focused on the game, I forgot to look over at the chat. So I apologize if I missed anybody. Aguilera, a 4 is tough. That's a 29, struck him out. So Murphy has the hat trick. He's in there talking about how he should be a Hall of Famer, and he's 0 for 3 with 3 Ks. So maybe he's, I don't know, just having a rough time of it, I guess. But Braves go away quietly after the double play. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Now, Aguilera is set to bat third this inning, so I'm thinking they're going to make a pitching change, and they're going to pinch hit because, like I said, we're at near the All-Star break, so the bullpens will have plenty of time to rest. And it looks like Doug Sisk, a right-hander, is loosening the Mets bullpen, and he would be coming in to replace Aguilera. So Aguilera's day is done. He's going to go 5 innings and give up 2 runs. Not all that bad, just not getting any run support. So Doug Sisk will be the one coming in the top of the 6th, but we needed a pinch hitter for Aguilera when the time gets here. Right now, though, it is going to be Ray Knight, Rafael Santana, and then said pinch hitter, whoever that happens to be. Right now, Ray Knight. That's a 6. It's patient, 32, and that's a walk for Ray Knight. So good start for the Mets, getting Ray Knight to get a leadoff walk to reach base. That's what you need when you're down by 2 runs. You need base runners. And Ray Knight trying to get it done. He'll be facing now Santana. Rafael Santana. 8 is tough, 43, and that's going to be a ground ball back to Mailer. He's a 9, he's an 8. That is an 8. That's a double play. It's going to go 1 to 4 to 3. Boy, bad time for Rafael Santana to hit into a double play. That's for sure. So 2 quick outs, And what the Mets thought was a rally turned out to be a dud. Goes 1-4-3. Thought about sacrificing, but down by 2, you kind of don't really want to do that, I don't think. So 2 outs and the base is clear. Who do you use to pinch hit? I don't think you want to use one of your better guys. You want to save them for the high leverage situations. So they're going to go to George Foster. George Foster will pinch hit for Aguilera, and then Doug Sisk will come in to pitch the 6th. So Foster's up 233 against the right-handers, but he did have 6 home runs and 129 at bats. So I guess you're trying to catch lightning in a bottle. It's basically what I'm trying to do. 7 is tough, though. That's a 73, tough 73. Goes up to 63, so he came close. 73, though, is a fly to center. That's going to end the inning. So 5 innings are in the books here at Shea Stadium. And Rick Mahler, uncharacteristically for him, you would think, tossing the shutout at the high-powered Mets. We go to the top of the 6th. New pitcher on for the Mets is right-hander Doug Sisk. He actually wasn't that bad. 4-2, 3.06 ERA with a save. So they could have picked a lot worse. You don't want to use McDowell or Orozco this early. So here we go. Bob Horner to lead things off here in the top of the 6th. 2-0 Braves, but there's still 4 innings to go, so anything can happen. Horner. 4 is Patient 33. Patient 33 will be a leadoff walk to Bob Horner. And boy, leadoff walks can come back to bite you in so many ways. And you bring in Sisk thinking he's going to do something, and he walks the leadoff man. That's not going to endear himself to Davey Johnson. Here's Ken Griffey. We get a 3, which is tough. That's a little bit better for Sisk. Tough 66. That's a fly to left. 1 away as Griffey is retired. Brings up Terry Harper, right fielder. Harper grounded to short in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th. 6 is in play, 76. That's out of range. 76, a fly to center. Hauled in by Mr. Dykstra. 2 down for Ozzie Virgil. Struck out in the 3rd, hit into a fielder's choice in the 4th. 4 is Patient 74. Patient 74 is a base hit. Horner runs at a 6, so with 2 outs, he makes 3rd automatically. Ozzie Virgil, Ozzie like a Virgil, like a base hitter there. A single puts runners at the corners with 2 down, and Glenn Mother Hubbard to the plate. They do have Mahler up next on deck, but I don't think you want to walk Hubbard here and load the bases. I think you're going to take a chance. In fact, Hubbard is only at bat so far, or his first at bat he got hit by a pitch, did make an out the 2nd time. But here's Sisk against Hubbard. That is a 7, which is tough. 92, and he gets out of it at the fly to left. Again, that high number in the 90s generally means a fly to left or fly to right, and that's going to end the inning here in the top of the 6th as Sisk escapes further damage. We go to the bottom of the 6th, and it will be top of the order for the Mets, Lenny Dykstra, followed by Backman and Hernandez. And Rick Mahler still rolling along. His fatigue is a 6, but he's pitching a shutout, so still doing very well for himself. Of course, they do have the fatigue pitcher cards, but I really don't want to have a guy be fatigued. I'm going to pull him before he gets to that point because you do get penalized pretty well. Not as bad as you used to, but with the new rules, it's not quite as bad, but it's still bad either way you go. So here's Lenny Dykstra, nails. He's 0 for 2, struck out in the 1st, grounded to short in the 3rd. Mahler 5 is in play. 16, base hit. Base hit for Nails. And now maybe when you get the leadoff man on that can run, maybe that's something that the Mets can work on. Wally Backman is your batter. Backman stepping to the plate, and now they're maybe getting Chuck Tanner a little nervous over there. We'll see what they want to do with that. Could be a time for a hit and run from Wally Backman because he doesn't strike out all that much. Only 32 strikeouts and 387 at bats. Let's see here. I haven't done a hit and run payoff pitch for so long. I got to read the rules on this. Let's see. I'm looking at the chart. Can't be just a 2D6 roll. This is oversimplified. I can't believe this is the correct way to look at this. Let's see. Results played normally in the section below. Use the chart. You know what? I'm just going to have him swing away. I'm not going to worry about hit and run. We're just going to have him swing away and hope he avoids the double play. Or I could get Dykstra to steal, but they're going to let Bachman swing away. 6 is patient 41. Patient 41's a walk. So how about that? By not doing the hit and run, Bachman was able to draw the walk, and that puts 2 guys on with nobody out, and you know you're not going to bunt with Keith Hernandez. So now the big boys are coming up, and the Brave bullpen is starting to loosen. Paul Orville Ossenmacher is loosening in the bullpen for the Braves, the left-hander. He is loosening fervently just in case Mailer starts to lose it. First 2 are on. Base hit from Dykstra and a walk to Bachman. And that brings up Keith Hernandez. 6 is patient. 86, though. Patient 86. It's a ground ball to second. That is a 6. His double play is a 7. His is an 8. It'll be a double play. So Keith Hernandez hits into the twin killing. Wow. Dykstra will take third, but that just kills the rally right there. 2 outs on one swing of the bat. And they were going for the big inning and just didn't work out that well. Hello, Prague. How are you doing? Prague Monster, I should say. Just noticed you were in the chat. Thank you very much for sharing part of your Saturday with me. Here's Gary Carter. Still got a chance to drive a run home with Dykstra at third. 9 is in play. It's an 0-6. That will be a base hit. So Gary Carter will knock in Lenny Dykstra, and the Mets are finally on the board, cutting the lead to 2-1. Carter with an RBI single. Lead is cut to 2-1. That brings up Darryl Strawberry. Boy, what do you do here if you're the Braves? It's a 2-1 game, and the big guy Strawberry's coming up. I think they're going to the bullpen. They're going to make the move. So Rick Mailer will be removed. He is scheduled to lead off the next inning. But Ossenmacher is a short, he doesn't have much length, so they really are using him just to get this one out, basically. So they'll pinch it for Ossenmacher in the top of the 7th. They're not worried about that. But Paul Ossenmacher is on. 61 games in 1986. He was 7-3, 2.50 ERA, and 7 saves. And his job is to keep Strawberry from doing any damage. So Paul Ossenmacher coming on here in the bottom of the 6th to try to keep it a 2-1 game against Mr. Strawberry. Carter at first obviously doesn't run very well. That's a 9, which is tough. 59 against a left-hander. Tough 59. It's a strikeout, so he comes in and strikes out Strawberry and does the job that they asked him to do. That was all they wanted him to do, and he did it. Keeps the score at 2-1, and that will do it for Ossenmacher. Doug Sisk will come back out and pitch the top of the 7th. We do need a pinch hitter for Atlanta, as they are pinch hitting for Ossenmacher. And on their bench, they have several lefties. They got Moreno, Chambliss, and Simmons. Moreno is, kind of a leadoff hitter, and if the pinch hitter is going to lead off the inning, it kind of makes sense to use Omar Moreno, I think, because he's kind of that pseudo leadoff guy. So Omar Moreno will be the pinch hitter for Ossenmacher. And then in the bottom of the 7th, they'll be bringing in most likely right-hander Jeff Dedman. But it could be Acker. We'll have to wait and see. I think it's going to be Dedman, though, most likely. First things first, top of the 7th we go, and it is Omar Moreno, the pinch hitter. So Moreno, the pinch hitter for the Braves. 8, which is patient 17. Patient 17, Moreno will draw the pinch hit walk. That's the kind of unusual result to have a pinch hit walk. But Moreno did just that, and he can run. He did steal 17 bases. However, he was caught 16 times, so proceed with caution, I guess, is the word there. Andres Thomas, your batter. As we go back to the top of the order, Sisk has to bear down. 5 is in play, 42. That's going to be an out. 42 is a pop up to third. Ray Knight is there. 1 down. And it takes us to Ken Oberkfell. You don't want to bring a lefty in against Oberkfell because then you got Murphy and Horner coming up, so you want to keep the right-hander in there. And just let Sisk pitch to Oberkfell. 5 is in play, 52. In play 52 is a ground ball to third, possible double play. That's a 5 total. So double play 7, 5 fits. It's a double play around the horn. 5-4-3 double play. And Doug Sisk gets the ground ball he needs to get them out of the inning. And that will be it for Doug Sisk. His day will be done, but he did his job. 2 solid innings of relief. Keeps the team in the ball game at a 2-1 anybody's game, obviously. The way the Mets can score, 1-run deficit is virtually nothing. So we go to the bottom of the 7th here at Shea. And the new pitcher for the Braves. Let's see who they want to go to. Actually, it's going to be Gene Garber, not Dedman. It's going to be Gene Garber. No, I'm sorry. Garber had 24 saves. We're not using the closer. It's actually going to be Jeff Dedman. I was right the first time. So Jeff Dedman is coming on. Or as Chris Berman calls him, Jeff Dedman don't wear plaid. He is on to pitch, and he'll be facing Wilson, Knight, and Santana, and a pinch hitter if it gets that far. But we are at the 7th inning stretch, so this is my second game in a row as I recorded the Stratomatic Demolition League game right before this. So I'm definitely in need of standing up and stretching because I don't want to get stiff. So we will head to the 7th inning stretch. I invite everybody to stand up and sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." All right, 7th inning stretch is in the books. And I see a message there from RJL. He has completed a special outfield runner advance chart, so that will be interesting. That's worth checking. That's worth going to the video and checking him out tomorrow at noon just to find that out. I'll be watching. Might not catch it live, though, because at noon on Sunday I'm probably going to be driving. So I may be listening to it. I won't be watching it. I'll be listening to it, but I would certainly catch it on the replay if I didn't catch it live, because I'll be really interested to see that. And he does a good job of walking through everything. And so newer players, he gives everything, it's kind of like a how-to, but you're actually playing the game, not just doing a how-to, but you're actually playing the game itself. All right, so we go to the bottom of the 7th. And new pitcher Jeff Dedman is on, facing Mookie Wilson, Ray Knight, and Santana in a 2-1 game, bottom of the 7th. Mookie Wilson, the batter, facing Jeff Dedman. Dedman was in 57 games, was 6-6 with a 2.98 ERA and 3 saves. That's a 3, which is defense, and that's a 31. So defense 31. We'll go back to our charts. I know a lot of people like to use the fast action cards, but I prefer to use the charts in these situations. So defense, number 31. 31 on the defense is the range of the center fielder. So we're checking the range of Dale Murphy in center field. Murphy's range is a C. So over here on the chart, 1 to 45 will drop for a hit. Higher than 45, and he'll make the catch. It is a 30, so that's going to drop in for a base hit. Base hit from Mookie Wilson. Base hit Mookie Wilson. He starts things off with a base hit. He is the tying run on base for Ray Knight. And now you get into that Braves bullpen, and that's where they get into trouble. Their bullpen was kind of lacking, I'd imagine. Here's Ray Knight. That is a total of 7, which is tough. 61. That's out of range. 61's a fly to right, 1 away. Biggest thing the Mets have to do is avoid double plays. Here's Santana, not a very good hitter. So this may be the time that they go to the bench and pull out somebody that can hit, like a Howard Johnson perhaps, to pinch hit for him. And it could also stay in the game to play shortstop. So let's see how they want to play this. Hojo is a possibility. So is Kevin Mitchell. But Mitchell's much better against lefties. So they're going to go with Howard Johnson. They're going to pinch hit for Santana. Say goodbye to Santana. And they will go to Howard Johnson. And if he doesn't hit, if there are not 2 outs in a row that are made, then Danny Heap will pinch hit for Sisk. So Howard Johnson will pinch hit, and he will stay in the game to play shortstop as well. Although not very well at shortstop. He's a D and a 1. But you're going for offense right here. You are going for the offense. So that's what they're going for. Hojo trying to strike gold here. Mookie Wilson on with 1 out. That's a 6, which is tough. 08, that's a strikeout. So tough, low number like that. Hojo almost had no chance. So he's out of there. 2 down, and now it's up to Danny Heap. Probably the Mets' best left-handed pinch hitter they have. So Danny Heap will be on, and Johnson will take over at short for Santana. But Danny Heap will pinch hit with 2 outs and a runner at first base. So Danny Heap facing Dedman. 3, and that's defense again, and it's a 90. So 90 on the defense is an error check on the left fielder Griffey. Griffey's error rating is a 4. So 1 to 46, it will be an error. Anything higher than that, he will make the catch. And he makes an error, so it will be an error. The 2d6s are a 3. So for an outfielder, left fielder, the 3 is a 3-base error. How do you like that? The total of 3 on the dice makes that a 3-base error. Go figure. Wow. Wilson will come in and score the tying run, and the pinch hitter Danny Heap reaches on a 3-base error by Ken Griffey to tie the ball game at 2. Don't know if I've ever seen a 3-base error before. I've seen plenty of 2-base errors, but I guess the 3 on the 2d6s made that a 3-base error based on the chart. Easy for me to say. And we are tied at 2 apiece. Mets have come all the way back to tie it. Chance to take the lead. Danny Heap at third base, and Lenny Dykstra the batter. Now, if you're the Braves, do you bring in your other lefty, Ed Olwine, to try to get out of this? Because Dykstra is a much better hitter against righties than he is lefties. So I think they're going to have to make that move. So Dedman's going to be lifted, and they're going to burn their second and last left-handed reliever, but the situation calls for it. Got to play the percentages. So Ed Olwine is on. If nothing else, it just makes Dykstra a much less effective hitter. So Dykstra is your batter. Score tied at 2. Bottom of the 7th. Heap at third. That is an 8, which is tough. 62 against the lefty. Tough. Boy, 59 would have been a hit, but 62 is a little bit out of range. It's a fly to left to end the inning. But the Mets do tie the score, and they've really dug into the Braves bullpen as well. They tie the score at 2 as we go to the top of the 8th, and the Mets, of course, will need a new pitcher as well. Howard Johnson is the new shortstop, but they will need a new pitcher. And let's see who the Mets want to bring in. They've already used Sisk. Forgot to write him off of there. They've already used Sisk. They will go to Roger McDowell. So Roger McDowell, we're in the 8th inning, so it's time to get some of those better relievers in there. So Roger McDowell, kind of the jokester of the team, if I remember correctly. Practical joker, but a good pitcher. When he needed to be serious, he was serious. 75 games, 14-9, 3.02 ERA, and 22 saves. He kind of split the closer role with Orozco. So it will be Roger McDowell to start the 8th. And he's going to be facing Murphy, Horner, and Griffey. Murphy trying to avoid the golden sombrero. He's got the hat trick of 3 strikeouts. He's trying to avoid the golden sombrero as we start the top of the 8th. That's a 3, which is defense. So we're back on defense, a 91. And we're back to the error rating of the left fielder. And in this case, the left fielder for the Mets is Mookie Wilson. Wilson is a 2 on his error rating, so not very good. A 1 to 63, and this is going to be an error. 1 to 63, and we're going to have an error. And we do. It's a 52. That is an error. That's a 7. So the error on the left fielder with a 7 is a single. Actually, going to turn into a single plus error, is what they're telling me. So Murphy will get credit for a single, and then there'll be an error on top of that that allows him to go to second base. So a single plus an E7. And all of a sudden, the defenses are starting to not exactly shine. I think somebody mentioned there were 5 errors in this game in real life, so maybe it's art is imitating life. But not a good time for the Mets to get that error. Murphy is aboard on second base with nobody out for Big Bob Horner. Horner is actually 1 for 2. He singled, walked, and struck out. Dow has to bear down. That is a 6, which is patient 53, but patient 53 is a base hit for Bob Horner. And we'll check the base running advancement on the chart and see if Murphy will score. Got to go to our base runner advancement chart. And the lead die is a 2. So runner at second, lead die of 2, he scores. So Murphy will score RBI single from Bob Horner, and just that quickly, the Braves have reclaimed the lead 3-2, and Roger McDowell not a happy man. And of course, the error didn't exactly help the cause. So Horner's at first with nobody out, and here's Ken Griffey. That is a 4, which is tough. 81. 81 is going to be a fly to center, 1 away as Dykstra puts it away. But again, the question is, can the Braves bullpen hold the lead? That's been their bugaboo. Here's Terry Harper. That's a 10, which is in play. 31. Now 30 is a wild pitch, so 31 misses that wild pitch. So 31 on a in play is out of range. 31 is a pop to second. So he pops it up to Backman. And there are 2 away. So Ozzie Virgil, but it came very close to a wild pitch. So Ozzie Virgil steps to the plate with 2 outs and Horner at first. Dow trying to get out of this. We get a 5, which is tough, and a 50. Tough 50 is a strikeout to end the inning, but damage done. Braves take the lead 3-2 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Bottom of the 8th. Ed Olwine, who was in to face Dykstra. He only faced 1 batter, so he's still in there. And Backman is your batter, but Backman is going to be called back because he can't hit left-handed pitching. Tim Tuffle will be the pinch hitter, and he will stay in the game to play second base. That's the thing with this 86 Mets team. You got to play the platoons because they just aren't very good if they go opposite of their platoons. So Tim Tuffle, and he was only a 245 hitter against lefties, but you You can see he had 196 at-bats against lefties, only 83 against righties, so he was the guy they turned to most often for at-bats against left-handed pitching. So Tim Tuffle is going to start things off against Ed Olwine. New pitcher and new batter, bottom of the eighth, 3-2 favor of the Braves, surprisingly enough. So let's see, Tuffle will now be the new second baseman for Backman. So that leaves Hearn, the backup catcher, and Kevin Mitchell as the only bench players left for the Mets. So the Mets are using their bench players up, and the Braves are using their bullpen players up. All right, we got a 10, which is tough. 66. Tough 66 against a lefty is out of range. 66 is going to be a ground ball to second. Hubbard will make the play, one away. Brings up Keith Hernandez, lefty on lefty matchup. 7 is in play, but it's a 91, which is going to be a ground ball to second. Hubbard is there again. 2 up and 2 down as they are peppering the ball to Hubbard, but it's not doing him any good. Here's Gary Carter. That's a 3, which is patient 33. Patient 33 is going to be a base on ball, so Gary Carter will reach, and that will bring up the straw man. Carter is the tying run. Straw man has a chance with one swing of the bat. You give the Mets the lead. So Olwine has to be careful. Strawberry is 1 for 2 in the game. Walked in the second, singled in the fourth, and flew out to left in the sixth. That's a 6, which is tough. 54, tough 54, struck him out. So Strawberry again strikes out against the left-handed reliever as Asemacher got him early on, and Olwine gets him here. And the score remains the same. Almost sounds like the song remains the same by Led Zeppelin, but this is the score remains the same. Olwine is done, but he did his job. Keeps the score 3-2, and we go to the top of the ninth. It'll be Hubbard, a pinch hitter for Olwine, and then Andres Thomas. And the question is, do they come back with McDowell? I think you almost have to. Unless I don't think you want to go to anybody else. We got the righties coming up, and you're not going to bring in Bruce Bereni. So McDowell's going to have to suck it up and get to it. First batter he's going to face in the ninth here is Glenn Hubbard. That's a 5, which is tough. 31, that's a strikeout. So good start there. And now we need a pinch hitter, and the pinch hitter is going to be Chris Chambliss. So Chris Chambliss will come on and hit for Olwine. Lefty Chris Chambliss. He hit .318 against the right-handers. So Chris Chambliss is on to pinch hit. We got a 9, which is tough. 64, just out of range. It only goes to 60. 64 is a fly to left. 2 down, so Chris Chambliss fails in the pinch. 2 up and 2 down. Gene Garber is ready in the bullpen to come in and try to close it for the Braves in the ninth. Andres Thomas, though, still has a chance to bat here in the top of the ninth. Get an 11, which is patient, 49, and that's just out of range, too. 49 is going to be a ground ball to first. Keith Hernandez takes it to the bag himself. The inning is over, and we go to the bottom of the ninth. Last chance for the Mets. They're down 3-2. Will there be, as RJL likes to say, any ninth inning magic? Not if Gene Garber can help it. Gene Garber is on. 5th pitcher used by the Braves as they're trying to coax their way to a unlikely victory. They got blown out in this game by the Mets in real life, but they're looking to rewrite history for themselves. Gene Garber, 61 games, 5-5, 2.54 ERA, and 24 saves. And he'll be facing Wilson, Knight, and Howard Johnson. And if anybody gets on, Kevin Mitchell would pinch hit for the pitcher. So Mookie Wilson going to try to get things started for the Mets. He singled and scored his last time up in the 7th. Will we see ninth inning magic? That is a 8, which is tough. 87, tough 87's out of range. It's a ground ball to Hubbard. And boy, they've kept Hubbard busy the whole game. Another assist. And here's Ray Knight. Good hitter, but not so much against the righties. But he's going to try to change that here against Mr. Garber. 6 is in play. That's an 82, though. That's going to be a fly to center. Put away by Murphy. And now the last chance is Hojo. He certainly is capable. He slugged .457 against right-handers, 8 homers and 173 at-bats. So can't discount that possible threat. Garber has to be careful, especially if he gets the ballpark result which takes it to a wheelhouse. That's a 10. Just missed the ballpark result. 10's actually in play. We get an 87. In play 87. That's going to end the ball game. Fly to center. Murphy puts it away. And it's the Braves who win it 3-2 against the Mets. It seemed like a mismatch, but the Braves pitching, particularly their bullpen, came through and held the Mets in check. 3-2, your final. Let me check on the totals. I know there were several errors in the game. Of course, the big one was a 3-base error by the Braves, Ken Griffey. But the Mets had their share too, an error on Mookie Wilson and an error on Santana. So the Mets committed 2 errors. Braves committed only 1. Check the hits. Let's see. Braves had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits for Atlanta. I'm sorry, I wrote the score in backwards, didn't I? It's Atlanta with 3 and the Mets with 2. Got that backwards there, didn't I? 3, 8, and 1 for Atlanta. Let's see what the Mets did with hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They only had 5 hits. So the line score, not a pretty one for the, and I apologize, it's kind of small, but there's the line score of the game. For the Braves, 3 runs, 8 hits, and 1 error. For the Mets, 2 runs, 5 hits, and 2 errors. I guess I could look at left on base eventually. Winning pitcher was Ed Owine. He was pitching in the 8th inning when the Braves scored their run. Losing pitcher Roger McDowell. And the save to Gene Garber. So we'll check left on base. I bet the Mets had a lot of guys left on base. Let's see about the Braves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They left on 7. So 7 left on for Atlanta. And for the Mets, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They only had 6 left on because they had hit into several double plays. That cost them as well. So there's your ball game payoff pitch. Mets and Braves. And Braves surprised the Mets by defeating them 3-2 at Shea Stadium as they head into the All-Star break. And the next video in the NBC Game of the Week will be the All-Star Game on Inside Pitch. All-Star Game is typically on a Tuesday night, I believe. So I will try to play this on a Tuesday night. I may even try to do it live. I'll have to be upstairs, so hopefully the streaming will hold up for me. But I would like to do it live if at all possible. Tuesday night around, 8 o'clock or so, or 7, or whatever the case may be. It's from the Astrodome in Houston. And, of course, it is Clemens against Gooden. And I just think Inside Pitch is the best engine to use for an all-star game. You get those colorful cards and all that good stuff. So, sorry, RJL, your Mets came up a little bit short in this game, but in the bigger scheme of things, in the 86 replay, they've got the NL East pretty much wrapped up already. So, just a minor chink in the armor. Might as well feed the Braves a bone here and give them a win and let them feel happy about themselves for at least one day. Other videos later in the week will be the game I recorded in the Stratomatic Demolition League, which is the Boston Red Sox visiting the Arizona Diamondbacks. And, of course, next Friday, it'll be the Buffalo Bees hitting the road to Milwaukee, taking on the Milwaukee Barrelmen in a quick 2-game series. Bees have won 9 in a row now after beating Montreal last night. And then after they visit Milwaukee for 2, they'll be coming back to New England and taking on Steve Towers' New England Minutemen at Bitty Beer Ballpark up in New England. And I'm sure after being swept by the Bees for 3 straight games that the Minutemen probably have something in mind. And it will be Fernando De La Rosa, as it'll be the number 1 starters for each team. It'll be Steve Show against De La Rosa coming up in that particular game, because we just had the number 1 starters pitch in yesterday's game. So when you count games 2 and 3 against Montreal, that's the 2 and 3 starters. In Milwaukee, it'll be the 4 and 5 starters for those 2 games, and then number 1 starters will be back for the start of the New England series. So it will be Steve Show against Fernando de la Rosa at Biddy Beer Ballpark. So hopefully Steve Tower will stop by, and if he likes, he can send me his lineup, and I'll use the lineup he gives me. When I was doing it myself, I just kind of picked the best lineup I thought I could find for him. But if he's listening to this one and would care to send me his starting 9 for his team, I may even reach out to him on Facebook and ask him if he would be so kind as to send me his starting 9 that he would like to use. I'll go ahead and use that starting 9, and we'll see how it goes. It's kind of hard to do those live because I'm doing the alternate universe with the 2 different announcers, and to have those 2 guys stop and interact on chat would not be, I just don't think it would work very well. So that's why I do those as recordings, because that kind of thing just wouldn't work out very well. Hello, Al Red Sox. I didn't see you come in. I was kind of away from looking at the computer screen, but certainly appreciate you stopping by. Enjoyed some of your chat you had the other day with Anthony. Interesting news about his college football game he's working on. Very excited. The teams he picked for the greatest teams sound like a very good mix of teams. So definitely, if it sounds like almost an instantaneous purchase when it comes out. We'll have to wait and see how he does. Hopefully, I know it's a lot of work to get a game like that done. So I think he was looking at near the end of the year to get that put out. I'm sure it's got to be play tested and all those kind of things. Hello, Woodman. How are you? Didn't see you either. Sorry about that. Like I said, sometimes I get wrapped up in these games and I forget to look at the chat. That's the downfall of the live stream when I'm not used to live streaming. I'm more comfortable doing the recordings. But anyway, that's kind of where we're at. And let's see. I don't want to make anybody sick, so I'm not going to move my phone but it's really, really cute over there. You got Tabby and Gracie both sitting over there together watching me do my thing. But they're kind of resting, and I really don't want to disturb them, but it's really interesting to see them. Those 2 are almost like they're best friends. You wouldn't think a cat and a dog would get along so well, but those 2 certainly have over the years. And of course, Tabby has been jumping on the table once in a while, kind of gotten away from that now, thank goodness. But she used to interrupt some of my recordings sometimes by jumping on the table when I'm trying to play. But I think she's gotten a lot better at that now, just kind of being out of the way and just, sometimes she makes noises or whatever, but she's been very good lately, I will say that. So everybody be sure to check out RJL tomorrow at noon as he does the 1961 walkthrough and inside pitch. If you have not seen the inside pitch game or weren't that familiar with it, or you were kind of nervous about the base running and whatnot, RJL will calm your fears on that and show you how simple, once you get the hang of it. There is a learning curve, no doubt, but once you get the hang of it, it's actually pretty intuitive and pretty simple. And RJL does a good job of walking it through there slowly but surely. When he does his, games, he's not really worried about that. He's just playing the game, but now he's going to take a step back and go step by step, very slow, explaining everything that's going on, situations that are going on, why something's happening, how you figure out how something's happening, and so forth, and the logic behind the game, which Chris makes a very, a wonderful game, no doubt about it. And you guys already know my only complaint about inside pitch, period. Just have one, and that's been beat to death, so I'm not going to belabor it. But every game has at least one weak point, and that was that. But aside from that, it's not enough to really bother me all that much. So to me, inside pitch is very close to it's very, very close to uprooting Stratomatic as my number 1 game. I mean, it's they're nip and tuck, that's for sure. Payoff pitch is a wonderful game as well. I do like the printed set better than I do the PDFs, but I just happened to get the 86 set PDF at the time. I'm not sure why I got a PDF. I guess I was trying to save money or something. I don't know. But one of these days, I would like to do a season replay using Payoff pitch just to check the game engine, because I've done it for Stratomatic, I've done it for History Maker, and I've done it for inside pitch. So logically, Payoff pitch would be the next one in line. And the season that I bought in Payoff pitch, the most recent season I bought, I should say, is the one I may be looking towards to do that. And I really like the way the inside pitch cards are made. So the next one, and I'm not sure when I'm going to do this, it'll probably be maybe at the end of the year when this game of the week thing is out of the way, and I've gotten most of the History Maker thing out of the way. My next one, if I can find it, I thought I had it with me. Oh, here it is. I had it backwards. The one I'm looking at is the 1972 season. So I'm thinking about doing either a team replay in 1972. I guess it would have to be a team replay if I'm going to check the game engine and play it all 162 games. The only question is, which team do I use? I surely don't want to use Montreal, but people ask how you store these things. I store these things in these baggies that I get from Walmart. But the cards, and I'll put a comparison on the size of the PDF, the way I cut the PDF and the original cards that come from Joe Bryan. And of course, these have the outs are on the right-hand side, whereas on the PDFs are at the bottom. And then you get a little bit of the team color. And you get a nice shiny glossy, and the cardstock is top-notch. So I may be looking to do a 1972 payoff pitch replay just to test the game engine, as I said. And I would, probably wouldn't do any sort of a, season thing because it's too many games. I could always do the, like RJL does, and use the fast score to fast score the other games, but usually that's better when you're doing a season and you're playing out different teams and whatnot. For one season replay, I think it's better just to do one team and maybe let Strat Computer sim everything else to save time. But we'll wait and see. That's a project for down the road. I know that the last couple days, I think it was, that Dave Gardner did a video on, I think it was called Project Guilt. I think that led more to, or was in the vein of starting a project and not finishing it and feeling guilty about it. I don't like to start a lot of projects. I like to finish the ones I start. I think I've done fairly well in finishing projects as of late. I've done the Mark Fidich replay on Inside Pitch, done the 1977 White Sox, the Atlanta Braves 1987 History Maker Baseball, the Washington Nationals 2019 replay, and currently doing, and I've also done the Game of the Week for 82 and now most of the way through 86, and then also the History Maker one I'm working on right now and the Demolition League. So I would like to finish those. It's a nice accomplishment or nice feeling of accomplishment when you finish a project. Now, I will take time away from a project and come back to it, but I really like to finish when I start a project. I know the temptation, I have it too. I see something new, it's like, oh, let's do a project. Oh, let's do this. Oh, let's do that. But I just don't have enough time to get into 15 different things. So I kind of like to stay focused on a couple of things and do those as far as projects go. Everybody has their own things how they want to do on projects. A lot of times people will do projects offline, so we never know if anybody finishes or not. But when you do them on camera on YouTube and you say you're going to do a project, and then people wonder what happened to your project. So I know people might have been wondering about that, about the Demolition League, so that's why I wanted to get that going again. One of the things I'd really like to do, if I could ever do it and try to work it out well, and it might be kind of hard to do, but I would love to do a co-op project. I did that once with Tabletop Earl. We did the Joe DiMaggio hitting streak in Stratomatic, where we each, he started with game 1 on his channel. I did game 2 on my channel, and we flip-flopped back and forth until it got to the point where DiMaggio was hitless on his channel, and that ended the project. But that was a fun project to do. So it would really be nice to be able to maybe do a co-op project of some sort. To kind of take the burden away of playing all 162 games. Maybe somebody play the home games and somebody else play the road games or something like that of a season replay. I don't know. Don't know what that looks like. Don't know about anybody else's, time commitment and things like that. But one day in the future, that would be something that would be kind of neat to do. Hey Jim, how you doing? Yeah, if you do an '84 Indians Blue Jays season replay, you probably are looking to get that over with as soon as you can. I know the '87 Atlanta Braves replay. I was doing it more to test the game engine. I had no visions of the Braves winning anything. The only reason I did it because I watched a lot of Atlanta Braves games on WTBS in 1987. When I got out of the service, that was the first year back where I could see a full season of MLB. And the Atlanta Braves happened to be on most of the time, so I kind of just gravitated to them. And so that's why I picked that in History Maker, but mainly it was just to test the engine. I really wasn't doing it to try to win anything with Atlanta, and of course they didn't win a whole lot. I think they got maybe 3 games better than they did in real life, but it wasn't anything dramatic. I was just trying to test it. But I have more fun trying to I like to take teams that are kind of like middle of the road and see if they can do something. I don't really like taking a team that wins 100 games and seeing if I can win 103. That really doesn't do much for me. I really liked the way our Red Sox did the 77 GOW Mets. Took a horrid team and actually turned them into something. Kind of hard to do in most cases, but he did it on that one. But I generally like to take teams that are maybe 6 to 7 games either above or below 500 and see what I can do with them. So for 72, I'll have to think about it. I was thinking about maybe doing the Pittsburgh Pirates. It was the year after they won the World Series, and they did lose the NLCS to Cincinnati. Or I could do American League, and I'm kind of leaning more to the American League because that was the last year the pitchers were hitting. So I'm looking more towards the American League, possibly Boston Red Sox, although I know people love to do Boston Red Sox replays, but they finished a half game out from Detroit because they had played 1 game less. So that's always interesting, that battle they had with Detroit. And, of course, Detroit was managed at the time by Billy Martin. Boston was managed, I believe, in 72. They were managed by Eddie Casco. I'd have to look at the standings and just kind of review the season a little bit and see who in 72 would be interesting to play. I've got a lot of time to think about it because I wouldn't be doing that until probably at least October, November before I'd be looking at something like that. Unless I get the urge to buy History Maker Golf, and that if I do that, then that will certainly take a lot of my time away because that's a long game. But after watching Replay Gamer and Tenacious Earl and RJL play some of that, it kind of got my juices going to do something. I don't have a golf game at all, so that would be very interesting to play. But yeah, Jim, I mean, I wasn't in any wars or anything. I was in peacetime, 83 to 86, so I was at Fort Benning, Georgia, spent the whole 3 years there. So I did, obviously watch a lot of Atlanta Braves games because they were on TV. Also WGN with the Cubs in the mid 80s, was watching them as well. Made it to Fulton County for 1 game because Fort Benning is about 100 miles south of Atlanta. So I did make it for 1 trip up to see the Braves play 1 time. And that was, I believe, in 1984 when I went up there for that. But then after that, so the 86 season, I got out in October of 86. So when I got out, it was right around World Series time. So really the 1986 season itself, I don't remember that much of it because, I wasn't always available to watch it on Saturday afternoon. I mean, sometimes I was, but sometimes I had other things I had to do. 87 was the first one I really picked up on. So I'm contemplating getting the 87 set in inside pitch. I do have it in Stratomatic. I have it in PDF on Payoff pitch, but I'm thinking about maybe getting that on inside pitch, possibly, for 87. It wasn't a very thrilling season as far as you would think of a replay, but I just remember the AL East was pretty tough. I believe Milwaukee, that was the year that they won like 13 in a row to start the season or something like that. And they had a really good April and then fell apart after that. And the tough battle between the Tigers and the Blue Jays went down to the last game of the season. So the AL East to me was the one that really stands out. And of course, I've already done the 87 replay in History Maker with the National League, so kind of want to give some space between that and something else. So there's a lot of things. I see a lot of things. It's like, oh, that'd be kind of neat. Oh, that'd be kind of neat. And then I end up being too cheap and not getting anything. So, oh yeah, Brad, I had season tickets to the Richmond Braves in 2001 and 2002. So yeah, I was a season ticket holder for a couple of years, and they weren't very good. 2002 was pretty good. They made the playoffs, but didn't win anything. But 2001 they were pretty bad. I did see some decent guys come through there. Adam LaRoche was playing first base for them a little bit. Got a shortstop named Brent Lillibridge came through there. Trying to think of who went to the major leagues. There weren't that many of them. Brian Pena, who I think caught for the Reds and maybe some other teams. He was a catcher for the Braves that year, or one of those years. They had some decent guys come through. Nothing, out of the ordinary. I was mainly there to watch the other guys. I mean, the other guys for the other teams. And the International League was always I thought was a fun league. And used to have a big rivalry with the Mets AAA down in Norfolk, so that was a big rivalry between the two cities. And I would take a road trip down to Norfolk once in a while and watch Richmond play down there against the Mets farm team. I remember seeing guys like Jason Tyner, was a speedster for the Mets. I think he went to Tampa Bay eventually as well, but he was a project for the Mets. Same with Timo Perez. Remember seeing him and some other guys like that. But yeah, minor leagues to me are fun. I really enjoy it. Of course, the stadium now is it's pretty bad. Yeah, Johnny Estrada played through there as well. It is a dump stadium, that's for sure. I call it the cubic zirconia, not the diamond, because it's horrible. It's built in 1983 in a hurry, and the Flying Squirrels came in as AA team for San Francisco, and they've been pushing the city to get a new stadium for them. And they've been promising a new stadium, but the way the city works, that ain't going to get done. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Squirrels leave town in a few years and go someplace else where they can get a stadium that's decent. That's why Atlanta moved their AAA to Gwinnett, because Richmond couldn't get their act together to get a stadium. And had it would have been perfect to me to get a new stadium. It'd be the Washington Nationals AAA team. That would have been perfect, but that just didn't work out. So now the Nationals are in Nashville or somewhere. I'm not sure where they are AAA now, to be honest with you. I don't keep up with AAA much anymore. I will say the Norfolk Stadium is a pretty neat stadium. It's fun to watch the game on the river like that with the light, especially at night when the lights hit that. It's a really, really interesting thing, and actually the dimensions are exactly the same as Shea Stadium. That's the way they built it. They built it to look like Shea Stadium, and the dimensions are exactly what Shea Stadium was. Now they're Orioles AAA team, obviously, but it was originally done to be, to help the Mets players to come up, and when they go to Shea Stadium, they're having similar dimensions and whatnot. Let's see. Yeah, so 72 is a possibility on Payoff Pitch. I do have several Payoff Pitch seasons in the printed version that I could opt for. I've got 1972, and I've got 1983. Let's see, what other ones do I have? I got the recent ones, of course, 2018 and 19. A lot of them I have are PDFs, and while I like PDFs, a lot of times when I have PDFs and I've got printed sets and I want to play something, I tend to gravitate to the printed sets for whatever reason. So kind of learn my lesson there to stick to the printed sets and just bite the bullet and pay the few extra bucks. I do have 1983 printed, but haven't done anything with it. But I guess because I did 82, it's so close to 83, I figured it might be overkill. So I'm not sure what I might do with that. Like I said, I got 72 and I got 82 that are in the printed versions. I have 1969, the printed version, but it's black and white. It was the one season I bought from them that was black and white. But I've already done Inside Pitch 1969, so I figured that would be overkill as well. It'd be nice if Payoff Pitch come up with some more of the older seasons. I would love something like 1967, 61, something like that would be nice, or 1990. But I've got payoff pitch going back to 2016, I think I've got 16, 17, 18, and 19. And then I've got, of course, 72 and 83. And, of course, the PDF version here of 86. I think that's all I have for payoff pitch. I've got 82 and 77 payoff pitch, but they're the real old style printed sets, and they look nothing like they do now. So I really almost don't even like to play those, but I could if I had to. I mean, they're very old style from when the game first came out. But once you see the new cards, you kind of want to go back to that. At least I do. Not sure what else to ramble on about. I'm not a big rambler. That's why I'm not a big live stream guy. I do appreciate all you guys for coming in and spending part of your Saturday afternoon with me. It was a lot of fun. Fun game, 3-2. Nice close game. I was worried to be a blowout where the Mets would blow the Braves away, but the dice had other ideas. And it actually turned out to be a very, very competitive game. Got to use a lot of the bench and the bullpen, which I love for National League games. I've always been a non-DH guy, but I guess I got to get with the times and accept the DH since it's here to stay, apparently. But that's why I like to play a lot of the older seasons. I'm not really much into the newer seasons. I did enjoy 2019 quite a bit. That was the last year pretty much. Well, actually, last year, 2021, was the last year of pitchers hitting. But 2019 was the pre-pandemic and kind of brings you back, at least to me, to a better time. And I really enjoyed the Washington Nationals Inside Pitch 2019 replay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I got some honeydew things to do. It's almost 2 o'clock here on the East Coast. Actually, it's about 1:50, I think, quarter to 2 or something like that. 1:47 on the East Coast. So I've been going on for about an hour and a half, which is probably an hour and 27 more minutes than most people want me to go on. So I'll go ahead and wrap this thing up. Reminder, RJL tomorrow at noon Eastern. He'll be doing the Inside Pitch 1961 slow playthrough with the Yankees and the Reds exhibition game. I guess he's going to do Game 1 of the World Series. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to play out. But be sure to check him out. Then probably on Monday, I will be uploading the Demolition League game between the Red Sox and the Arizona Diamondbacks. That's probably going to be on Monday at around noonish for a lunchtime deal. That'll be uploaded for that. And then either Tuesday or Wednesday, I will either do a recording or a stream of the 1986 All-Star game, since we're at the All-Star break in this replay. And that'll be on the Inside Pitch from the Astrodome, one of the more infamous All-Star games back in the day with the great pitching they had with Dwight Gooden and Roger Clemens. I believe Clemens won the MVP on that game. Now, I don't have pitcher hitting cards, so the one thing I've got to figure out is how I'm going to handle that. If I want Clemens to go 3 innings, he's going to have to hit. And so I'll probably take the Boston Red Sox from one of my other seasons in Inside Pitch, take their generic pitching card and just use that. I know RJL has made up his own versions of pitcher hitting cards, but I mean, it's just one at bat in the game if it even gets to that. So I'll probably just pull something from the recent 86 or recent Boston Red Sox teams and just use their pitcher hitting card and just use it as a placeholder basically and just not worry about it. The biggest thing on the All-Star game is trying to get everybody in the game or as many people as you can in the game, but not run out of players. So I may do a special rule where I'm going to try to use everybody. If it goes extra innings and run out of players, I'll have a rule where I can bring players back or something. It's an exhibition, so it doesn't really matter. All right, all you guys, appreciate again all you guys for stopping by, spending part of your Saturday. Again, the Mets fall to the Braves 3-2 as a big error on Mookie Wilson set the stage. Murphy singled and reached on the error to move him to second, and then Bob Horner followed with a single to provide the winning run. And then Gene Garber nailed it down in the ninth for the Braves to beat the Mets 3-2. So until next time around, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road. And don't forget to check out RJL at noon tomorrow for Inside Pitch 1961. Have a good day, everybody. I'll see you around.